And what I noticed is I had it set to average, like all-time historical average.
Okay.
And what I think that did is, if you remember, Lajoie and some others led the league with like
Yeah.
54 home runs. And
Yeah.
I think what happens is, if we look at Lajoie 1901 as his season, it's going to look. In fact, I'm going to pull these up right here.
I'm on YouTube now, so I can see it.
Wrong thing. I'm going to pull up era data. I've got all this stuff on spreadsheets, but I think within the game, this is an easy way to show. So in other words,
Yeah,
if we go to
90s.
1901 American, right? So let's look
Yeah.
at Lajoie,
The real net graduate, yeah.
the real now Lajoie. So it's going to look at 6 home runs every 1,000 at bats. Okay,
Right.
that's the league average. So now I don't know what the average would come out to be, but let's say the average of all baseball years works out to be something closer to the 70s, like
Sure.
1975. Okay. So if we
Yeah.
go from 75, you're going to see that increase to 22.4.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's a, 373%
It's big,
increase.
yeah.
Okay.
Massive, yeah.
So let's see if we got Lajoie. Where is
It's
he? Do we know
always been
what?
hit 52 of mine.
Do we know what team he's on? It's got to
That
be the
graduates on
A's.
Hagerstown, I think.
Okay.
I think.
So here we go. We go to Lajoie.
He's on Hagerstown, yeah. Just yeah. I think so.
Okay. These are replay stats. But see, now that I've done the average, notice it's come down in half to where he hit 25 home runs. That's a little more believable to me. So if we
Yeah,
go to
yeah, yeah.
real stats, Lajoie hit 14 home runs, which was great for that era, right? Where they only averaged
Yeah,
6. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
if we go from era to error, he should get 373. So if we've got him at 14 times 3.73, that would put him at
Jeez, I love
52.2. So what
that.
we saw was selecting the era that we put
Perfect.
him in, right? So if we think about this, if we think about going to the average batter pitcher, meaning that should be reduced in half, meaning what's going to happen is when he faces somebody from 1975, they're going to average the two eras for that encounter, meaning it would average out to, instead of 6 home runs in 22, that would be 28 divided by 2. It would average to an era where there should be expect about 14 homers per 1,000 at bats.
Let
Does
me
that
just
make
see
sense?
what mine is. It does completely. I'm just looking at what he did in mine, man. I just ran one just a minute ago. What team is he on again? Hagerstown.
Hagerstown, yeah.
Or Hagerstown. He doesn't even play. But to be honest, probably because of the settings I've got, he only bats 15 games. That's not right. You
Oh,
may
no,
have an
it's not.
up-to-date manager file. That's probably why.
So, and I'll show you what I mean, because if we took and set under rules and we made it even more drastic, right? So we're averaging him to the average season, which is probably around something in the 70s, is what I would say. But if we
Hmm.
went and said, hey, under general, I put it back to this because I still think this is the most
Let
realistic.
me see, Steve. Now let me just lean in a little bit closer. What have you set it to?
What it defaults at, which is standard batter pitcher average.
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah,
Now,
yeah.
when they're
What
in the
did you have it
same,
before?
okay, for the first trials, I didn't do this in the last league. I wanted to see what it would
Ah,
look like saying cross era historical. The problem with this is it takes him from where he came and makes the only factor it does is say, tell us the year you want him to perform in, and it does the
right.
adjustments one direction.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So if
That
we
makes
put
sense.
him
I
in the
get that.
90s, if we set this league into the 90s, he'd probably hit 70 home runs or 80
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because he hit 14 in a season that averaged 6 per 1,000 at bats, right?
Let me just
So
check my one. So I just saw Roger Formby hit nearly 60 home runs. And was he a home run hitter? Roger Formby?
oh yes,
Okay, well, that makes sense, and that stops that home run for me.
yeah, he
I'm just
was. He
looking
he
at
had
him.
some power. He had some 30 to 40 home run seasons.
He hit 53 in this league.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
believable because he hit 42 in one. season, I believe.
but the season he's coming from, the
Yes,
1921 season, he hit 21 home runs. This is more than double that. That's
yes.
that's 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 incredible.
So
53
now
home runs.
what I'm saying is, when I first sent the file out, I had changed the rules over because I was running some tests to see what just picking the average, but the
Yeah,
average
you had it on
is
cross era. You
not
had it
gonna,
on cross
yeah,
era.
it's not gonna give anybody from the lower um, eras, it's not going to
Gotcha. I understand what
more
you're saying.
accurately reflect it, right? So to me, you can help minimize because if you think about it, Lajoie is going to hit about 7 point something home runs, and the average is 6. So he's going to get about a one, let's say a 1.1, you know, times factor.
Hmm.
And then you're going to go from an error of 6 to 22, and he's going to get another 3 times 7,
Another big
which should
bump.
average 52. Well, in the one I ran, he hit 54. So the game's making these
Ah,
changes, and that's what can get a little murky. So what I think yields a better result, and you'll see my results that I've run here, standard
yeah.
batter pitcher, because that means when he's coming from a dead ball, let's say he's facing Jim Palmer.
Yeah.
Palmer's coming from a 22 home run era. Lajoie's coming from a 6. They'll take those two, make 28, divide it by 2, and now it's going to have 14 be the home run
Gotcha.
target versus the higher number.
Let me see what you set up for last year. See, interesting. Because last year in the Shanks 2, I'm just looking, you did set it correctly as a standard batter
Yep.
pitcher average.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas on this trial one, you did it the other way around and
Yep.
got some
And
strange
and again, I
results.
forgot
So
I'd had it that set way, but I was way anxious to see, and now I know. And you'll see here, this is the results I just got when I ran this earlier today. This is how
everyone's
the
saying
league
hello,
came out.
Steve.
Oh, hello, 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 everyone. I'm over. I'm so focused in looking at my data here. You'll see, but it's much more believable um, in terms of because just because Lajoie hit, he's not going to hit 54 home runs
No,
in a crosshair league. But hey, in the 20s, yeah, I could see that. And it
I
just
mean,
let me know that that setting is way too drastic. It would be as if we set these current players, the newer ones. Can
and
you
you
imagine
are
taking
correct.
Sosa McGuire to 1903?
Oh my God, you're correct though, because like I said, I've looked at Harry Shanks too. You definitely had it set the other way around.
Yep.
So, and I did see Hornsby hit 53 home runs. I'm like, he's good. He's not that good in this type of league. Does it make sense? I
Well,
mean, look,
let's look at what he hit here. He led the league in batting in this run, but now look at his home run totals. He hit 32.
that's more realistic. He hit 21 in
Off the
1921.
real numbers of 21, right? So if he's going to see modern pitching or average type of pitching, he's going to see something around the 20s, and
Yeah,
he's probably
that looks
coming
right.
from an era that was about 2/3 of that in the 30s. Anyway, I'm talking
How does
out
it
loud. I
affect
got a lot of
pitching?
stuff in my mind.
How does it affect pitching? Hello, everybody. I think Steve is down the rabbit hole, and I'm shining the torch.
Well,
So,
let's go to Ed Walsh and take a look at how it should affect pitching with home runs given up. So think about this. So in the replay here, in real life, he gave up 2. In the replay, he gave up 8. Okay, well, that's believable because we're not
reasonable,
playing
yeah.
in the dead ball, right? But if you go look
Yeah.
at yours right now, how many home runs
Let me
did
look
Ed
at mine.
Walsh give up?
Ed Walsh, yeah, I'll look at mine,
We
and
would expect that to be higher.
everybody in the chat's got the same early file. Let me just fire that up. One second, I was too busy looking at Shanks too. So just spare me a second. Baseball 23, I just reloaded it again. I've got some great stadium pictures, by the way. Just got them off of Facebook. Right, I need to load the
If
league,
it's at
which
Mark
is,
Shaw posts some really good ones.
yeah, it's Mark, yeah, definitely. Let's have a look, let's have a look, let's have a look. Let's find my Howie Shanks. It was the 19th, wasn't it, of August? Bear me, Steve, while here we go. Which one is it now? That one or that one? I've got one of them up anyway. This is the one I just ran. So Rogers Hornsby hit 53 home runs. We know that's not quite right, but he's coming from far back.
Yep.
Second in home runs on my one. I just ran what I put in the Discord. Manny Ramirez, but that looks on par. He hit
Yep.
in real life. He hit 43, and the replay hits 42. So the further back, the big. So who was the best pitcher? Lefty Grove. Lefty Grove pitched much less innings in the replay, and bearing in mind, but he gave up 6 home runs in real life. In the replay, gives up 17 home runs.
Yep. That
But his overall
that's
figures
yeah.
are actually better. His
Batter
overall
pitcher
figures are actually
average allows everybody's era that they come from to be in play, if that makes sense.
yes, it does. Yeah,
Um, and that was a good test because I hadn't really done any tests that extensive to take a look at how the replay results. But I started running some, and I'm like, I'm going, look at all these kind of dead ball people hitting 50s. I go, there's no way. And then when I went back and
yeah,
looked at, I was playing around with the setting. Let me go back and start running them with batter pitcher average. And now I'm seeing things that look much more reasonable across the board.
yeah. It's funny though because I didn't pick up on that until just now. The only one, like I said, Hornsby just looked way out. Everything else looked okay. I'm
And,
just looking at Don. The pitching looks okay, but then again, I wasn't really paying close attention to it. I was more looking at my red bolts.
and you'll
Uh,
see I've been running these tests with injuries off.
right. Okay, that's good. So it's going to be a good representation. So, big question: did it affect Detroit?
Yeah, if I keep injuries off, I'm in a
Yeah,
slightly above 500 team. I mean, that's what I've been able to say. I know Aaron's or World's Worst Gamers running all kinds of tests. He holds out hope, but you can only polish a
yeah.
turd so much. Meaning, I mean, you can do a lot of things, but you're not going to take somebody that's in the complete cellar and make them a division winner. I just don't.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong that maybe with this league we could, given the right strange circumstances of injuries to or a team and maybe not for the others. But
Mm.
I don't know.
This
Is
looks. I mean, I thought last year you had it down pat, and well, we've still got. You always take a look back and just see what you did. Definitely, Crosshair needs to go and do the other
Yep,
one, the other
yep.
option. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm looking at this screen, your screen, and there's nothing that stands out other than Caldwell. But Caldwell does well in the other league as well,
and
in the
and
one
you
I
got to
ran earlier.
remember our lefties should be a little better than we saw in the last league because we do have that left-handed boost, which keeps them from getting um, having to face nothing but good right-handers that kill them. So we do
Yeah,
have
I
that
don't see any
left-handed boost
lefties
on
in
them.
there. I don't see any lefties in there though.
On mine, he came out number 2 for Mudville up here.
Who's that?
Mike Caldwell. So I don't know if you're looking at my
Oh yeah,
screen, but this
Caldwell
is the
does
one I
pretty well.
ran.
He does pretty well.
Walsh is up there, but I'm going to run another one right now just for the
Sure.
fun of it. And I'm going to see, I'm going to go to rules.
The home run hit look believable. There's
Yes.
no Hornsby
And
there.
Lajoie hit 24. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I'm going to go right here to turn on one in
Actually, it's
multi,
much better.
one game in multi, using the player's real durability ratings. Awesome. And let's zero it out and let's run another one.
Okay.
Have a little bit of time for lunch here.
Yeah, that's
Anytime I redo it, I always select delete all the injuries, statistics to 0, 5 days rest, and reset the records.
so you want to do you run GM on them again? Set all teams to compute. No, leave it as it is.
Oh yeah, I don't touch
Yeah,
that on because I'm afraid to even mess with that.
yeah,
Because the GM, they don't have to make roster GM moves because they'll always do lineup, but that's really if they're trying to bring people in
yeah.
or
Churches are
out.
all active.
So
Here we go. See your chat for you.
I'm just looking at this. Is pretty interesting. Is that Turner? Well, that's an odd looking
Which Turner is that one? Kentucky Turner. Which Turner is that?
Trey Turner. Yeah,
Great
it's
Turner.
interesting. Let me just exit out and start it up again. I don't know why it's only just showing a handful of people on the real life leaderboards there.
Oh, you have to get rid of the leaderboards.
Yep.
You've probably kept an old league leaderboard and not erased that one as well.
Let's do this. Go to
This just popped up.
utilities, clean league folder.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's a great stadium. What was that?
Oh,
It's
I
the
missed
Red
it.
Stadium. That is awesome.
I have a few nice ones.
That is awesome.
All right, let's go run this. There we go. The Long Island Mudfell. Let's play all the games and see. So now we're back to that batter pitcher average. The other one was junk. And we'll turn the variation of injuries. Injuries are going to have a big determination. Well, they do in
Yeah.
real life, don't they? I mean, think about it.
Well, they do. That's it. And every season,
Every
they
season,
should do.
every real
Come on,
baseball
Manchester.
season, injuries have played a key as to somebody going down, not being available.
Come on, Manchester. Take down Hagerstown. We were doing this last night. It's like
Oh,
watching a game. We were just staring at the screen, and then Beatles came in and
look
took
at
over
Dwayne.
the show.
Dwayne's like, I thought Lajoie was just fine. Yeah, I bet you did, Dwayne, with 54 home runs.
It's good that you looked at it, Steve, because, like I said, we had it set right last year. I just have to look at the settings again for last year.
Well, and
And
it's fun
look,
to play
yeah,
around with it too because there's no
yeah,
set rule. We could say when you got people from all over eras, you could say, "Hey, I want to take everybody that ever played and put them in dead ball." Well, then it would make sense to assign them to like a
yeah, yeah, true.
1900s year, right?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I wish Action, and this is a recommendation I'll be making to them, would do like basketball does and allow a decade style to be played. For example, you in this game have to pick a specific year in league. I couldn't say play 1908 style baseball. I'd have to say I want them to play
You could.
1908 AL or NL.
Couldn't you, when you know what the modified team settings are, there's a way in which you assign a ball player and a team to a specific year. You could do that, but only a specific year rather than a decade. So if you're looking at
Correct.
1986 Mets, yeah, you can definitely do that. Yeah,
So
but
you could
maybe not.
assign the
Yeah,
player, the park, and the year that you assign under the team and the park is the park and the year. The player,
correct.
all you can assign them and make them appear as all they came from that year versus the
Correct.
one they originally came from. But then where
Yeah.
do you play the games in? Like the current universe is the way I view it. You have to
Right.
go under the
Okay. What
league
it
and
has to
say,
be a
okay,
universe. Yeah.
we know where their stadium's at and what year that is, and we know what where they came from. Now where are you moving
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
to?
Yeah. Because out
When
of the park, you can do that. You can do that from
yeah,
the park.
when they
You
come out of the
completely.
cornfield at the Field of Dreams, what's the date and year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so if you put them in 1908, you got to pick AL or NL. I wish they would come up with an 1900s combine AL and NL.
Well, it might do. If you know, you got his ear. Come on,
Yeah,
Red Bulls. What's going on here? I don't care if it's spring training. We need to win. But I found a new rotation as well. I found this is using the rotation from a couple of days ago. I've
yep.
shifted my rotation around. I think that's the fun of spring. Just looking at that. Oh, Manchester doing pretty well already. And
And
this is not even in Dodger Stadium.
again, this is still the file I was playing with what the other day because
Yeah.
I haven't done any tweaking that anybody's wanted or whatever yet. That's not time for that yet. So but there's only so much tweaking you can do, right? There's that you've either got to
That's
have a
true.
good core of a team to work with. If it's too much of a turd, it's getting all over Beatles' hands, like Clue said. And
Game falls apart.
there's a big variation with who's who. Bernard has mentioned schedule a lot. I don't know if I even understand what he means, other than I think when I hear him say schedule, I'm thinking, yeah, it depends on who you play on what given day. So, for
And it's the same
example,
schedule. No matter how many times we run it, it's exactly the same schedule. On May the 19th, I'll be playing Detroit, no matter
it's the
what.
same schedule, but based
Same
on
schedule.
moves, it may not always be the same pitchers facing the same
Yeah,
lineups or the same other
yeah.
pitchers. Um, there's some variation there too, based on injuries. Like here, we got an injury that happens. The next time we're running it, it's going to be different than the last time because pitchers get hurt. Somebody's having to move into a different rotation. So, but just like in
You're
baseball,
ahead, Steve. God, you're funny. You're winning your division.
yeah, but it ain't going to last long.
They're going to try fix in a minute.
Somebody will get hurt. Yeah, because even if they don't get hurt, I think at best, I'm probably third place-ish to fourth place on average.
Yeah, now this is the right setting. This is exactly what we had last year. Ah, man, you're beating
You know,
my team. You got a better record than Manchester.
oh,
Can't
you
be
see, here
right.
comes Kentucky. They're on that run. Kentucky's
Here
just
comes
deep. We know that.
Kentucky. Kentucky's the most consistent. I think Las Vegas and Hagerstown have been pretty good, and Manchester, my own, and Canada has its moments. That's what I've seen so far. I've only
And
read
you
about
guys have
five,
a
six.
couple in that division. You've got Texas and Arlington over there, so you all get to take turns beating them up a lot.
Yeah, well, we need somebody like that in the league. We do need, and who knows? They may change their rotation, their
Yep.
stadium, and get better because they haven't really touched their team yet.
See, now I'm
So,
back
and this,
down in
oh,
the territory I typically see my My
Yeah,
team
but you're way
finished
above 500,
3-4, 3-4.
but way above 500. In fact, the first 5 teams in the Shanks division are better than the first place in the bingo, which is interesting. Even Canada's up there as well.
See what Clue says? He said, I thought that was the Red Bolts. He thought you were that team.
Clue. Clue, have you watched my cricket yet? But Manchester, well, we're only 500. Oh my God. So we must have been playing one of the tough teams.
And you got to
We need to
realize
go.
we've been running some of these things with injuries off, right? To kind of get a
Yeah,
good idea of who's got the core, if everything, if you
yeah,
weren't impacted by injury, kind of where your average is, right? So now I've got injuries back on because that's what the season's going to be. And you're going to get that wide
yeah. I must have
variation.
injuries. We must have injuries. But this is better. There's no Hornsby 53 home runs in this type of league. But he still probably win the batting title.
Oh yeah, and Hagerstown's still up there. I mean, and it's still early. Every month, if you sit here and really watch, you see a lot of shifting of the standings
Yeah,
as far as I've noticed when I'm watching these play out.
mm. Christine Yelich doing well from Mudville. Nat Lajoie doing well. Al Rosen, my favorite one in this extra beat. He's just a beast in this game. Musiel doing well. Team scoring, Las Vegas. That's Bernie's team. Come on, Manchester. You're making it look it's hard.
Yeah, this
But
guy.
I'm changing my stadium, Steve.
Look at Legends. And that's again right. You can that can have an impact, right?
Oh, here comes Manchester. We must be playing some good things. We're playing Long Island, which is
I was a
Legends.
little worried about World's Worst. It seemed like, man, that poor guy was. You can get so much in here trying to figure out what's going on with your team that you're over.
World's Worst is down a rabbit hole as well.
Well,
He's
hey,
way down
as
there.
long as he's having fun doing experimenting,
He
that's what
looks like he's
counts.
having a lot of fun. I woke up this morning, it was on game after game after game. I thought, my God, World. In a
Well,
way, after the scouting report, so I was like, okay, I'll read some of these.
well, look now. Canada was near the end. Or the first few weeks they were down the bottom too. Right now they're up, climbing up into that third, fourth spot. I'm down.
It's
Look at me
getting angry.
now. I'm down.
But you look at the result, though, it's way over 500. You know, okay, Manchester, you're at the top again. That's what we like to see. Just beat Philadelphia 20-6. Who's Philly?
Ken
Ken.
Castro.
Ken Castro. Ken's going to buy me
He's
a
got
Philly.
Delahanty up there with OPS, which I mean, Delahanty had a big OPS for the year he's
Mm,
for that
that's
era.
Vegas. Huh? Babe Herman. Come on, son.
Oh, they keep cycling. Look at doubles, triples.
Yeah, look at Barry
So
Bonds getting
Musial,
his
I
thing.
think, was who's leading with doubles. Let's see here.
It's going to.
Babe Herman with 43 for you.
That's right. What a hitter. Well, I feel more comfortable that you've done that little switch. Because as soon as I saw the Hornsby result, that can't be
Yeah,
right.
well, on Lajoie hitting 50, I'm like, come on, hold on, what's going on?
Yes,
Then I
right.
realized, oh yeah, the rationale before was letting both players get some factor of the area they come from when they face
Mm.
each other versus just throwing them into a completely random one.
Dwayne, no, that wasn't just fine.
Nah, yeah, Dwayne's like, he was fine.
Clue. It was very harsh on World's Worst game. It's when you're responsible for the mental health of criminally insane. He's having fun. He's having fun. While you do that, let me just look at this Shanks 2 again to see just check your settings. Because if that was one, there might be another one that you've missed this time. Let's have a look.
You're talking about
That was a
the
crucial.
override button that to ensure Manchester always loses, but
No, we
close.
don't want that one. We don't want that one. Let's have a look.
uh,
Our Red Bulls will fly their flag. Don't you worry. So let's have a look here. Roll. I'm definitely going to switch to Dodger Stadium now, Steve, because I think that's where my team strength is
yep.
pitching. Pitching, I
And I've
think.
got mine, I think, in 76 Tiger Stadium. I haven't looked to see if I want to get it a little bit more pitcher friendly
Yeah.
here or a more hitter. I haven't even, I think that was the one that I had last go around, so I kind of stuck with that.
Okay. So I'm looking at Harry Shanks 2. You definitely had it across era historical average. So we're going to change that to standard pitcher average. DH 1 and 2, yeah. You don't need the interleague DH. Allowed pull pitcher to remain as DH, no. Apply park effects, yes. Draft league left hand pitcher boost, yes.
Yep.
What about use generic splits for batters below 50 appearances? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Pitching, estimated pitch count is the one that's ticked. Then you've ticked everything, including ejections. Well, no, this is the wrong one. Apologies. I've used the wrong one. What Harry Shanks 2. Double check that again. What do we call it? Doesn't matter. Uncle 5 or whatever. There we go. That will still be the same thing. Right, I'll do that again. I'll say that out loud again. So I'm going into setup, Steve, while you run the league, just to check the settings. You can do it from memory. We did, under rules, come on, MV. Right. Standard pitcher batting average, 162 season, DH. We had interleague DH, but it makes no difference.
Correct. Yeah, that's
Okay.
makes no difference.
We apply a park effect we didn't have on left-hand pitcher boost, which we're doing this year. That's fine. We allow estimated pitch count. That's cool. We didn't have catcher fatigue on, actually. We didn't have it on last year
Interesting.
under the rules, but yeah, we didn't have it on. And considering most of us have drafted 2 catchers, I've had
Yeah.
to keep it that way so I don't have opposing
Yeah, and I
it.
think, and they'll usually tell you based on how many they caught in real life, how many games they would need before, a
Yeah.
rest.
So are you going to kitch? Last year we didn't tick it. Are you going to tick it or not tick it this year?
I have it ticked.
Because it says here, catchers will fatigue after a number of consecutive games.
Yep.
So if we click it, that will make the fatigue happen. If we don't click it, there'll be no fatigue.
Correct. And if you have it clicked, you can go in there and look at your catchers and see how many they've caught and like what their limit
Right.
is.
So should we leave it unticked this year?
I don't know. Maybe we ask. Maybe that's a poll.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, yeah, definitely. Because I've definitely run into that trouble. I don't mind the tick being off. To tell you the truth, it suits me.
Let's see. Oh, look at Manchester is above 500 by 11 or 9 games, but you're in 4th place over there.
Yeah, we'll catch up soon. We're hitting Arlington and Texas soon.
Kentucky, we've got 4
You're back
teams
up
with
there again. Look at
71.
that.
No,
71
I've
and
been up and then
54.
back down. It's crazy. It depends on, like, you take a week or two at a run depending on how teams get hot, who they're playing. The standings move quite a bit.
Mudville just a game earlier,
We've got
500.
5 teams over there really in the run. Look, Canada's coming up. So World's Worst is coming up there. So we've got 5 teams right there, only 6.5 out.
That's true. I remember
But
we did the
Kentucky,
breathe with 10.
I think Kentucky needs to have like a significant injury, like from a bus accident or a train derailment.
They only just beat Manchester, Seems like we're always close. Here we go again. Manchester, Kentucky. Oh, we got slaughtered 11-3. Jeez. Let's get out of Kentucky real quick.
Now look who's up there: Hornsby and Musial battling it out for the batting leader. Clayton Kershaw is this one. Ed Walsh always does well, but if you look at his numbers, he's got a great year. And
Kershaw,
Kershaw's way up there.
1.66. Yeah, that makes sense.
See, none of my pitchers up there. I got Cabrera that's over 300. That's new. My team
Oh my
batting, it
God.
seems to be second best, but
That's pretty good. Who we got? Who we got, main man?
Ty Cobb,
Typo, fair enough.
Heilman, Gehringer.
Look at Bernie with Hornsby and Musial. It's just not fair, is it?
Hmm.
Oh, well, I've got Babe Herman doing pretty well. Kershaw doing well. 5th best ERA.
Yep.
No offense, man.
Yeah, there's so many things like Clue's talking about here. It's like if you turn your head, there's 100 things going on. Then you turn your head to focus on one, you lose sight of all the
Yeah.
other. It's like a moving target consistently to try to fine tune.
Look at Canada. Look right up with Kentucky.
Yeah, and they started off slow the first month or two.
Look at them. A game and a half behind. All that testing. Hagerstown is still ahead of Manchester. What is going on with the Red Bulls?
And Bernard's Vegas teams up there. I've had that. I think the last league I ran, they won, and Cleveland won.
Yeah, they do well consistently. Come on, Manchester, do a turnaround.
When
It's
I
too
ran it
late
with
now.
no injuries, Cleveland came out on top of Shanks barely, and Vegas won the bingo division.
Doubleheader. Last chance, Manchester. No, blown it. We're just barely above Beatles' record. In fact, Mudville have a much better record than Manchester and Boss and Detroit. Oh my God, are we that bad?
Look. Now I'm down in the look. I've now it'll be interesting to look. I've had some waves here. Maybe I got one of those big hits where I've got Garinger and Cobb out again or whatever, and I go on a
Yeah,
losing spell because now I'm 15 back. I think I was within 6.5 not too long ago.
this is crazy.
Can Canada
Canada,
make a run here?
not enough time. We've got
Got
4 days
7 games
left.
left, I think. Six or
Well, yeah, goes
seven
into
games
October, isn't
left.
it?
Oh, they're going head to head, and Kentucky just beat them up 13-1. Here we go. Canada beats them. There's still a chance. Here we go. Big game right here. Kentucky. No, Kentucky just sealed it with that win right there
No,
when they were going
Canada
head to
just
head.
beat them as well. Canada, Kentucky again. Kentucky takes it.
Well,
I
this is the
love,
first time I think I've seen in several of mine legends team Long Island come out on top.
yeah, something wrong with
But
something
let's
wrong
take a
with
look.
Manchester.
But look at his pitching. He's got two of the top four in ERA over
Yeah, he
here,
does.
right?
Walter Johnson, Ed Walsh. He should do well.
And here we go. There's another iteration. Hornsby wins the league
Damn.
in batting. Hit 40 home runs. 100. Look at the RBIs.
Yeah, McGuire, 111.
Meaning there had to be
Turner.
a lot of people on base for him.
See, Rogers Crosby wins the league again, actually. 40 home runs. 150 ribbies. My God. Slugging. Wow.
Let's take a look at team by team chart.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh,
Clearly, clearly surprised
Texas
by his
was
pitch.
0 and 12. Look at how look. I was 12 and 0 against Texas and 9 and 3 against
Wow.
Arlington.
I wonder how
So
much we were.
think how bad I would have been if I hadn't won all those. Detroit against Manchester. Oh, I had a winning record against you. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Against Philadelphia, but yeah, look, against Kentucky, I was 2 and 11.
Jeez. Clue is bringing some abuse in the chat as well. Oh, he started yesterday, Clue. Cool.
Oh
Can't wait
yeah,
to hear
yeah,
your
he's got a
feedback.
good years for Scherzer and Pedro for sure.
Yeah.
Those are good. So again, when we go to these rules, let's see what kind of variation we get here.
Damn.
Yeah, just checking everything. No limit on the
Looks okay.
match
Like
win.
Watersby's still surprising.
Let's take a look at the
But what
league.
stadium is he hitting in? He's in Boston's Fenway Park.
Oh yeah, and he's a right-handed hitter, right? So you've got that.
Yeah.
It's a good park for right-handed hitters he's coming into. And what about the league players report? I think. Oh no, it's league
George Bell made the All-Star team. First I've seen that.
for world's worst. Yeah, Eddie Collins has made it. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good stuff. Ken Boyer as well.
Yeah, and Clues bring up a good point. How many players will be retained as we start researching? Do we retain and then roll the clock plus one, like
Are we
adding the
not going to drop
year?
a franchise?
Oh yeah, we drop a franchise, but of the franchise you keep, you could protect up to 5 players, but
Oh, only five,
it's
right?
the subsequent. You'd have to get them in the subsequent year, which brings all kinds of research and strategy into figuring out which team and players you may or may not keep.
Gotcha. So yeah, we drop one franchise, and then from the remaining franchise, you only allowed to keep five.
Yep.
So let's just say I drop the Giants, which is most likely that I'm going to do that, and keep my Dodgers, right?
Hmm.
So, and I've got Jackie Robinson, who's sadly 32. I'd probably drop him. So I think 1952 was his last decent season. Right, got it. But I would keep someone else like Kershaw. Right, makes sense. Makes sense. And Sutton I'd probably keep. And
Hitting streaks, longest streak of the year, Stan Musial, 25 games. Let's see
cool.
another report. Let's take a look at league top performances for a player. Plate appearances, at bats, hits. Ty Cobb, several of them, 4 players had 6 hits in a game, 3 doubles in a game. We had
What?
nobody get more than 2 homers in a game.
That's weird. Triples,
Cecil
Manchester.
Fielder and Banks both with 8 RBIs in a game. That's a big game,
What
eight
I
RBIs.
what I've learned from this is I need more offense. Pitching's great. We probably have the best pitching staff in the league, or one of them.
2 players walked 5 times in a game. Always some neat little views. I was going to look at the league injury report,
Yeah, that's going to be telling because I
current
think it's one of
injuries.
the. I must have had some injuries in
So
this one
this
for
in,
Manchester.
this is people that either way early or later were all the way through the end of the season. But some of those could have been big, right? Look at these. There's big names up here.
Ray Berman, October 4th, out. My best play. I wonder how long he was out for. Because this is recent. You want one of historical injuries on.
And then
Dislocated that one.
we could take a look at your
Manchester.
game logs. This is always fun with game logs. You can go back and see where they were injured. Okay, so he
Yeah,
was injured on September 30th. That wasn't too bad. You missed him
no, it
like
wasn't
the
too
last
bad.
week. He had no other. He had one on the 29th, but that was just a
Yeah,
single
that's
game
fair enough.
injury.
Yeah, we'll have to put the vote about the catcher fatigue. Mind you, I might be the only one who suffered, so maybe not. But I'm definitely having a problem with it. But they probably had that problem right at the end of the season.
Yes, and if we take a look, I think now that we've got that on, I think this is the one. If we go into your catchers, caught 162. Well, here's your problem. He caught
Yeah.
162 in a row. His max is 8.
What was his batting average? That's ridiculous. I can't.
222.
Right. That is ridiculous. What's his batting average?
Should be
Does he
294.
have? My God, he must be tired.
So let me take a look at mine too. Yeah, because
But I
there's
have it set up differently now anyway, so that Mancuso is only a DH. Sorry, a
see,
bench player.
yeah, and I don't know what's funny, but they use mine properly, right? Like here's Freehand, he's caught 11 in a row, but you can see he caught 147 games in real life, which is a lot, but so it'll let him go a max of 15 in
Yeah,
a
and that's
row.
fine.
Yeah. And then Bassler, see what did he catch?
He's a good catcher,
See,
Johnny
he can
Bassler.
only do 9 in a row, but he
Yeah.
currently caught 0.
If I target the at bats for a Mancuso, he will take some of those bats away from Posey. So I have set it that way in new fun when you get from me.
Oh, look at this. Gary Carter. Boy, he must have been an Iron Man with the fielding. Oh, yeah, look. He caught 153 in real life. That is a ton. So he can go
That's a
34
lot.
games. Yeah, you could basically just rest him maybe 5, 8 games out of the year and get away with that. I mean, that he can really go a long way with him. But Walker Cooper, he's not going to have the same kind of. He can only go 8 in a row before a rest.
Yeah.
So it if we're trying to be realistic, I say, hey, we make it realistic fatigue for a catcher.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fair. You have to tick the box then. If you're going to rules, you have to
Yes, and I
tick it.
think it is ticked, and
Is it
that's why
ticked?
we
Just
see
double check.
that. That's why we get to see
Okay,
that
that's
level of
fine. That's fine.
information. Yeah. If you
Yeah,
have
I'm happy
catcher
with that.
fatigue, then you can go into your roster at any time and look
Yeah,
at
I'll
your.
change the roster. Yeah,
It'll look at your. The computer will be looking to see how many in a row and when it needs to sub one
yeah.
in.
No, that's fine.
Now, if we.
I think Dwayne was asking yesterday if he needs to buy a new version of Action because it's got Action 21, and I think so because
Oh
some
yeah.
of that management usage is it's
Oh
different in
yeah. You gotta
23.
you gotta have the new, yeah, and the new engine really allows for the analysis and a lot of the other stuff
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
going
Beatles
on,
summed
and
it
the
to
and
him
the
yesterday.
roster setup and all that good stuff. Yeah,
Beatles is on commission for this
he's
new.
on commission, no doubt. So let's reset it and run one more. I've got time for one
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Nail on my case for later on. Bless that heart.
I don't know what anybody's seen. So there's about a handful of teams that I have completely done with all the photos. I just finished Cleveland. So if we look at Cleveland,
Oh, right. So all of them are
but
finished. Are they the
well,
same design?
yeah, I've stuck with that right now, but I don't know if you can see here. So I've gone through here and I've got photographs for. Oh, wait a minute, I'm still working on Neil Ball. This is the team I'm working on right now. I've got Neil Ball. I haven't dropped them over in the folder, but I have
Yeah,
all of
it looks
these
good.
done. So I ended up with George Uhl. Yeah, I
What's the
did these this
maximum
morning.
amount of photos you can have per player? Is it four?
Oh
Because
heck no,
I've
you can
had
go
a
look.
issue about Negro Leaguers.
I've got 6 right here for speaker.
Well, it
I've
must
I've
be
had
six
I've
then.
had 15, 20 for a player in here before, and just
Yeah, for some reason,
labeled
my
them.
Negro League file just sticks with three or four. It's fine. I
Yeah.
don't need more than three or four, but still, yeah.
Winfield, I've got 4 here. You can see I just here's one with the
Yeah.
Yankees, couple with the Yankees, couple with the Padres.
Tell you
Tion,
what, Steve, you're amazing for doing this, man. How long does it take to make one photo, like with all the graphics?
depends. It's I can share with you right here. Give you a good example. There's Tony Cuccinella right here. So I've
Yeah,
I've got my template that I can come over here if he's in the NL, and I can come in here and I can change the name for the next player, right? And then I
now.
then I take it back down to the size it is. Here's Sam Crawford, for example. And then once I copy that, I'll just go find if I've got the photo. If I need the photo, I'll go out.
Uh,
I'll save the photo here and then go in and start dropping my template and moving it around and make sure they look good. If I've got to colorize it, that takes longer. Um,
yeah,
and then crop it.
I mean, I've got the same thing, I guess, but gee, I
Yeah,
don't feel
so
like
I'll
it's
go
really.
here a lot. So here I'm looking at Bug Holiday for Cincinnati, and you can see
Yeah,
there's only one picture here, and it's not going to be a good one. And there might
just plug
be,
it up. Yeah.
and I'll have to run it through some enhancers and all that kind of good stuff. Who's another one? But I'll just come over here and search.
Mm.
What's the name of a player we need? Um,
Gus Mancuso.
there you go.
So
There you go.
I don't
Boom.
think he has
I'll
a good.
just do it. I'll do a search like here. Here I go, and I'll see if there's any good color ones. Hmm, do I want one with the Phillies, Cards, and the Giants? Then it's like, okay, I might want to have options. I can come over here to this one. I can save that, and I'll save it as Gus Mancuso, right?
A good picture,
Save
actually.
it, and then I can come up here to my Topaz. This is another style I've been working at. You can look here. It's
That's a lovely
taking what I'm
picture.
doing is I'm going to eventually go over and put the year they're coming from, the actual specific team logo. That's going to be my next
Yeah, that looks good. I like that
how
Cincinnati Reds one.
how,
That looks
how I'm going
really
to
cool.
do it, and I've done that with the what do we call this here? I've done that with the pirate. This is all set up for whenever Beatles quits ducking. We have this pirate tiger matchup. I created this with the actual logos from that period. So this is
That
another
looks so
option.
cool.
Yeah, that's going to be when I finally get around to enhancing it and having different options. But right now I'm sticking with just kind of that generic color AL NL format. But if I wanted to upgrade that, I'll go to my greats. I'm going to go up here and look for Gus, right?
Yeah, this is look
Click
like a
on Gus,
midfielder
and then
dream.
we can tell you. I can tell you they've got a lot of built-in features here. One of them is just um, letting it do any photo restoration enhancement on it
I've got
AI
full
wise.
course. Yeah, that's
And
pretty good.
photo does a good job of it, and it'll color it. And you can see I could come in here and adjust and
Clever,
say,
isn't it?
hey,
I've
I
got
want
it.
I want to unblur the face.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That is so cool. How does it do that?
Now what I'll
Technology's
do here
amazing.
is I'll hit download. Okay, so I'll just download that, and then the other one I'll
Yeah,
use is this one. I don't know if anybody's played with this, Colorize. So I can come into
yeah.
this
I have a trial
Colorize,
version of this.
and I can hit
This is good.
Gus. Well, whoops, wait, he's in my downloads. So I can pull up Gus, and now I'll find a giant, probably maybe Bill Terry or Melot that I've already got. Let me see.
That Mancuso looks cool, actually.
Maybe it's Melot. I'll find something that's got the colors the way I want them. Right here.
It's relaxing doing it. That's what I can see.
Oh, it is relaxing. It's very zen-like. So I'll
Yeah.
come up here, right? And then I can come over here and grab a color I want and come over here and maybe highlight this. The other thing I can do is clean up some of that yellow that gets in there,
Mm, mm.
that gets on there. So I'll
Yeah,
clean
the
some of
fact.
that
Yeah,
up. Yeah, that effect, make that look a little bit better,
he almost
whatever.
looks painted, Gus Mancuso.
Yeah, and then I can come up here.
Sharpen that up big time.
Yeah, and you can come up here and I like this because it does a good job
That's the
of,
Giants crown.
yeah, and then the size of it and all the good stuff.
Is this cap in real life? It's faded, isn't it? So it's picked up some of the, and you can shade it. Yeah,
Yeah, so when we do that, so
yeah,
anyway, I can live with that, right?
yeah. That's pretty cool, Steve.
So I'll come over here and
It does add a lot of immersion to the game. I mean,
it does.
I've been lately with the uniforms, on my project. So it's been like 80s project. I can see the Houston Astros colorful uniform. I like that too. But I do like your cars, I must say.
So here's exactly, then I'll go to my, well, which one, where's my NL template? Here it is. And I'll come in here and change that. This is Gus Mancuso. And I could go create, if I wanted to download the other teams, who were the Phillies or whoever, right? And I always put my stuff, I just follow my format of the 240. I've used that forever.
Yeah.
And then
And
I'll
how do
go
you feel
find,
when you've done a card, Steve? What to describe the feeling when you've actually done a card like you're doing now?
oh, it's great. I feel like a little kid creating my own,
Yeah,
right? So I'll play around with this and kind of get the size I want. I mean, I know the size I'm looking for here, which is,
it's pretty good.
and then I'll hit save, right? Then a lot of times if I have other variations of them or down here, I'll just make sure that I get rid of the ones I don't want. So you can see I'll go back to Gus. There he is. I'll get rid of that and then just make this one be the main one. So there you go. Now
Nice.
Gus met. Now he's done. So it took me a few minutes, right? Because I had to
Yeah, you
find and
take it on.
color a picture. Now if I wanted the St. Louis one right now for the game, since you're the Giants, I'm only doing one. But if I wanted for what I typically do to have different variations, then it would take me a little bit longer, right? So if we look
I
at
gotcha.
somebody like, let's look at one I just did today, and I didn't even do all his teams. But here's Gary Sheffield, right? So I got Gary
Mm.
Sheffield here for the Padres. But I
I
also
liked
have
what you did with the Negro Leaguers as well. You
I
brought them to
have
life, man.
yeah, and
Yeah,
with
that's
some of these
cool.
new things, I could do better with them. I've got Gary Sheffield for the Brewers, and then I've also got him here for the Marlins. So, if I've got a player I want to have represented in case you wanted to show a different uniform, it can take a little bit longer to do it. But these are between these two programs, I like to come over here and use this one to help clean up and get some of the
Yeah.
colors right if they didn't capture them. The other thing
It
I
looks
could do,
AI generated, Gus Mancuso, doesn't it?
yeah, the other thing I come over here and I didn't even think about doing this is grab a little bit of orange and I could throw some orange on the cap, right? Get a little bit of
Yeah.
orange up there, make it even better. But anyway,
That is so cool.
getting sidetracked. But that's what I'm doing now. Um,
Let's go.
so it's great. So we can have fun. The window dressing, I've fallen in love with that so much. Hey, Robert, welcome. Uh,
Hey, Joe. Hey, home COVID test came up negative, Steve.
so,
Or Robert.
good.
It's
Here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to run another quick sim here, and let's see what happens.
yeah, Clue, big George Bell. He made it. He got to the All-Star game in this one. I want to see how random this thing's a little bit because not random, but it's sim. Manchester can't be that bad again, surely. Jeez. Jeez, after an 0-2 start, not good. 3-0, 0-3, 0-4. Oh my God.
And again, folks, this isn't, if you're doing any of your testing at home, you're probably tweaked your lineups. This is still the
Yeah.
computer starting point that I'm looking at. So
Jeez.
don't get all
It's
butt
still
hurt
not,
on me if your team's not
still
doing
not
good.
good,
This
though.
is
1-5 record doesn't augur well. Come on, Arlington, give me a victory. Thank you. Where's Detroit? Bottom of the league, Manchester. What are you doing? Come on. I had a lot of fun watching the box scores, to be honest. What's RGL's team? Deerfield? Yeah, Deerfield. Arlington, the top of the league. As your team did, Steve.
8-8. I mean, my team's probably 5 to 6 games above 500 when I've been running these sims.
Yeah.
And, a little better if injuries don't kill us.
Mm,
Not as good if injuries do. I mean, I'm just not a competing at
yeah, not this
winning
time.
a lot, right? Okay, Cleveland's up there, right? When the one I ran this morning, when I got the settings all right, like we had them in Shanks before, Cleveland won that one, um, and I think Vegas won the bingo.
Yeah, Vegas wins a lot.
But it's
Someone
fun. It's
take
fun
down
just taking
Kentucky.
a look at this.
I run about 20 to 30 sims in the last few years, the last 2 seasons, just to get competitive, just so I know that the team's competitive. Put every single scenario in that game, play around with the rotations, and till I settle on something. Come on, Manchester, we're top again. My God, that's quick. Watch Canada climb up the league, then. They're 10 and 14. Manchester, what are you doing? Iron Joe, you're like freaking wet Joe. Ugh. Dan Bruther, he's the man. How many playoffs teams? 4, Steve, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Two
I
from
thought
each
what we
division.
could do is give the first. Well, what I thought, if we wanted to have more teams included, you could take the 2 division winners, give them a bye, and then let 2 and 3 in each division play each other.
Yeah, that would be cool. Give everyone a chance.
It gets 6 total teams in there.
Yeah, if it works out. Like a wild card thing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Come on, Red Bulls. Let's get a 10-game lead going here. Come on. This is me and my Red Bulls. So boy, yeah. We're having a heat wave in the United Kingdom at the moment. It's
Yeah.
awful.
What would that temperature be?
Brittany. Hold on. Oh, no, it's hot. Let's have a look. What is the temperature in the
Yes to what
UK?
Robert said. I like that idea. A best 2 out of 3 for 3 and 2 playing each other, and then it goes to best of 7 for division
Yeah,
and
that
World
sounds good.
Series. That's a perfect setup.
Here at the moment, It is 25 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's hot. It's muggy. And what's the ice cream? Yeah, Clue Cookers, that works.
Let's see what happens. Right here we are, 50-ish games in, and watch. It'll change. It seems. Well, Kentucky's always up there. There's something baffling
The
about that.
Manchester's back to normal.
I see a lot of shift between Long Island, Hagerstown, Vegas, and Manchester back and forth there, right? And I see a lot of movement. Well, I saw Kentucky edge or Cleveland edge Kentucky. I've seen Canada get up there in the top of one of mine. I've never
Yeah,
seen myself at the top. I've seen Mudville get close in
mm.
second. At Milbos, I've seen them up in the top half and then at the bottom. So
Yeah, they
it's a lot
beat
of
me.
that
They
whole
put some.
division is 7.5 out. That's crazy.
That Shanks League is very competitive.
Now we've seen Hornsby win the last batting title. Him and Musial knocking it out. So it'll be fun to watch this one. He's up there. And we're seeing Ed Walsh. Ed Walsh and Walter Johnson are always up there. Those are
Yeah, that's
two
the dynamite one
really,
too.
those are great pitcher years that the Legends has.
So you're 500 now.
I don't know about this Deerfield Beach team with Robert. He hasn't. I don't have a team here on my file where he's put his fingerprint on it yet. That's what we're missing.
That's
Well,
it. When everyone puts their
the
fingerprint.
yes, exactly. There's no real fingerprint from anybody else with their team. So keep that in mind before you get all butt hurt when you see where they're at. Just saying, there's a lot of impact you can still have. And welcome Arnold. Arnold,
I
who I
don't know
must
that
say has done some work testing my basketball
basketball
file,
stuff.
which I haven't worked on in a couple of weeks. But when I sent him the most recent one, he sent an interesting league file back to me. And
I can't wait for that as well.
as he may tell you, it is the Lakers. If you play him as an all-time franchise, that Laker team is tough when you've got
Yes, too
Kareem
much.
Abdul-Jabbar and Shaq and Kobe and Jerry West and Magic
Too
and
much.
Elgin Baylor. That's a tough team.
Oh my God, Carl! Here they come, Hankersfield and Las Vegas. You're right. We've lost 3 in a row. Ridiculous. 4 in a row.
Look at Hagerstown. So
Yeah, I mean,
you're always a little leery, even when you're at the top. I notice when you're at the top, that's when you're asking for more wins.
yeah.
You want that distance.
Oh, we went on a bad run, man. I need to look at the schedule where the pinch point is. 'Cause I think that can make a difference.
Yeah, did you notice that Kentucky, who was it? Oh, Kentucky and Canada, we know have a great matchup, like about 6 games left in the season. They have a key
They
three
do.
game series right there, where if they're within a game or two, that could be really impactful.
Now we're on a winning streak. This is at Evansfield. Dutton Sutton, 10-6.
That's a good point. I haven't really messed with my team at all. I am going to
Yeah,
go in, I think, and take. I have them in 76 Tiger Stadium. Maybe I'll.
I'm definitely changed to Dutton. I'm not sure which year. I
I don't
tried
know.
88 earlier on.
I
We
don't
won.
know yet if I need to help my pitchers or home run
Yeah, this is
hitters
it.
or like try to emphasize some of the doubles and triples.
Well, you're doing pretty well in your hitting.
Look, I'm 5 games under.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pitching. That must be the problem.
Ty Cobb's
Joe
up there.
McGinnity. Now, Joe McGinnity surprised me on this one. He's now in the top 10 pitchers. 99 pitchers. It's not my pitcher. That's the problem. It's the hitting. Oh, we're getting smashed again.
Yeah,
No, we've lost the division.
Clue and Legends have great pitching.
Yep. Kicking out butts.
Take a look at some highlights. Those are always interesting to see fly
Shocking.
by. Game highlights.
Manchester Smudfield. Yes. Remember that season we saw? I think it was on your channel. Rod Beck went the entire season with a 0.00 ERA.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. In relief, but still, that's incredible.
Oh yeah, 22. Wasn't it 22 innings he had and didn't give up a run? Gave up
One
like
run.
11 hits and no run. That's crazy, crazy. I've got okay. We got 97, getting close to 100 games here.
That's just going to be
Hagerstown's putting a little distance on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Here comes World's Worst. He's catching Kentucky.
Love that. Come on, man. It's just the one final run. 2 months to go. Come on, it's Arlington for goodness sake. Good. Ken's team doing. Ken's got mostly 19th century players. Is that right? If I request, is that right?
He does, and a few modern Phillies mixed in, like Mike Schmidt.
Deerfield. Saved by the shoot.
Do we
I think
have?
I'm have to adjust my pitching strategy.
Yeah, let's take a look at pitching. Look at Pedro Martinez this go around. Him and Noodles Hahn leading the way. Ed Walsh, for once, is not up in that ERA board. So there's a difference. I don't know if he got hurt or what's going on, or just the way the ball rolls. Look at Walter Johnson with the strikeouts.
He's way up there. And Nolan Ryan. Kentucky's ERA.
Ooh, RJL just sent me the file. Well, look
Well,
out.
he's manager file.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, every time we get close, we lose a game. Just pulled back a 5-game deficit against Hagerstown. Oh, we're ahead again. Come on, win this one. No.
See what RJL send over here. What do we got?
Kershaw 12-2 on the season. Canada's just still hanging there with Kentucky. Damn, Lob's team beat me just now. 4-2. This is how we should play the game. Just draft, sim, draft, sim. Because this is fun too.
Oh, hold on. That's my RJL file. Let's get the game back up. There we go.
Yeah.
I got his file down there, so I'll load that in.
Excellent. Let's see what he's up to.
Yeah.
Counter.
Dissect that a little bit. See what that
So we
fingerprint
can
looks
count
like.
it, RGL.
Oh, you're back in top. Look at you, Manchester. So let's see. Oh, here you're playing me now. Look. Oh, I was hoping to be the spoiler.
Oh, beat
Oh my
Kentucky.
gosh, you're beating me.
Oh, and again. Take that. Take that.
Yeah, it's
And again.
ouch. Ooh.
And yet, for all of that beating, we're only a game ahead, half a game ahead.
And where is? Oh, here you go against Canada. You got them.
Yes.
I beat Hagerstown
Like
for you there.
Oh, beat Canada as well. This is a good run. And again.
You're playing some tough teams now.
Yeah, and then you get to mid-team and smash me. Oh, beat Kentucky.
You swept Kentucky 3 games.
And again.
But you notice they've got Keefe pitching, and you're going to mess that up, I heard.
Yeah, Keith is, and again, Keith won. See that clue?
Oh, you have your way with my team.
And again, because
Hmm.
and again,
Well, your team is on a roll.
he's on fire. And again, nice one. Shame it's not the league though. Oh, we finally got one by 1 run. Needed for a blew it.
Let's take a look at the batting,
That's
see
a
what we got
winning
going
trail.
on with batting here.
Some top Detroit, 6Ks back.
Ken Boyer leading the league in RBIs. Look at that. And
That's
home
crazy.
runs.
I know he's not in the Hall of Fame, is he?
No.
He
Oh,
should be.
there's already too many. MV, don't, please.
Oh, it's 4.5 back. Detroit, where have you come from?
I, it's weird. I'll go, if you look at these, it's very streaky. Like now Canada's going to start getting, working their way up past. What do we got? Now we're getting close. Got 3 weeks left in the season. Hagerstown and Vegas are right there.
Vegas, come on.
Look at Deerfield Beach. They're getting close to 500. So this will be a test before I run the next one. Since
Yeah,
Robert sent in his file to see when he puts his fingerprint on it.
come on. Yes, smash Vegas. This is
Right?
looking good. This is looking good. Another winning streak here.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
4 in a row.
Mudville beat me. I'm telling you, Beatles grabs a team, didn't even won
Yeah,
them,
he does.
both expansion era, and he's always in the
He's
top
second.
half. All right, you've got to hold off Hagerstown.
Come on, Manchester. Come on. Well, I'm satisfied.
I don't.
Ooh,
Nobody's got 110 wins like they did in a couple of these, though.
no, Kentucky. Oh, looking good, Manchester. Come on, beat Long Island. Yes, another victory.
Oh,
I
you're
think we won
playing
this one.
Texas now. You're playing Texas. Come on,
Yeah,
that's
come
almost
on.
nuts.
Come on.
Ugh.
Yes, another one. Wow, this is good stuff.
You're liking this, aren't you? Boy, you finished the last month and a half of the season good.
Tim Keith, 8 and 18. So you know there's more room here. That's it. It's a wrap. We've won the division.
There we go.
Oh,
So let's keep an eye on Deerfield Beach. It was 4 games under 500 because I'm going to run one more sim after I upload their.
mm,
So let's take a look at what we're seeing here.
I've
So
learned a lot from that one.
it's interesting. Hornsby's number what, 6 now? 5.
Yeah.
Josh Hamilton and Bagwell up at the top now. Nice
Oh, Manchester
variation.
Steelers. That was good. I enjoyed that one.
Chief Bender, interesting. So
Barry Bonds, 114 walks.
it's crazy.
So
So
is 70 degrees Fahrenheit quite high
what was that,
for
MV?
weather? So for weather, Blue has converted the nighttime weather here in the UK. It says high 70s Fahrenheit. Is that high
Well,
in the
that is
US?
that is still kind of warm in the evening, but
Nowhere near you guys. It's really hot, but-
okay. Here we're gonna do. I'm gonna clean this all up. I'm gonna go grab.
So Hagerstown looks like the most consistent one in the division, along with Las Vegas. What's our jails team called again? Deerstalker? No, Deerfield Beach. That's it.
Yeah. What the heck is RJL got here? I would be looking. Well, I guess one way to do it, and I'll show you all how to do it, is you could export. Just go to your
It's
roster
export,
and hit
export manager
the.
file.
Oh, hold on a second here. I can get it this way. You go to Deerfield Beach and then hit manager and just export the manager, right? Looks like he sent me a
Yeah.
whole file. So
Ah,
I
it showed
can
it now.
install that and go do it myself. So
Yeah. So for RGL, it's go to on your team manager, scroll down, export. That's it. Save
this
it
one,
somewhere you can find it.
yeah. So it's got this one. Install it. Howie Shanks League 3. A lot of stuff written there.
Yeah.
I will go then to his team, Deerfield Beach, and I will export the manager. Let me put it. I'll just put it in documents.
I get that over there.
Go back to the league we're in. And let's see, I exported that to documents. I always forget where I put it. Oh, let me do it this way.
Alonso, 53 home runs. I've not played MLB The Show for ages. Need to see how these guys are getting on.
Let me just export the manager and just keep it in
Yeah.
wait.
I just export to my downloads folder. So easy to find. Let's go to downloads
Let
and
me
it's
do
there.
that.
So easy.
Got to go in the one he sent me here.
Mm.
So you're saying you just hit downloads?
Yeah, I just when I export I go straight to my downloads
Yep.
and it's there. So just that time I go to export to downloads folder and it's easy to find because
There
it's
you
the
go.
last download you did. Yeah.
So I'm going to copy that and then go stick it in the folder that we are
There
using.
you go. That's the very last one. There you
Seasons.
go. Ballparks.
Paste it in there. Now we go to our season and let's import it. And it should be there. Import managers. There it is. Deerfield Beach. Okay. Let's go
Let's
see
see
what
what
he's
he's
up
up to.
to. They both set.
We think I like this. Let's
Ah,
see what he's up to.
let's see
I
what he's
think
got
Cougar
going
said
on here.
exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So what's his depth like there, Joe?
Let's see. Let's take a
Let's
look.
see
There's his
what
lineup right here.
let's see how does the center fielders. Dave
Yeah,
Parker leadoff spot.
Mike
That's novel.
Lavaliere on as a
Thank you.
DH. Hmm.
Thank you.
Hmm. Versus a right. Lavaliere is a DH. Interesting.
David Wright versus Alfonso. And Edgar Alfonso rides the pine. Robinson Cano at
Hmm.
second. This is
Here's
versus
the
righty.
rotation.
Who's the leaver? That's another spot starters. That's going to eat into his rotation.
I don't know, RJO.
Spot starters are going to mess you up a bit.
Yeah, RJO, what you may want to do just to make sure we've got the run, yeah, is when you're in or like when you get your roster all set up, I'll pretend I'm you here. Let's say I go get because I doubt I'm just going to bet I doubt you want your backup catcher like if I loaded lineup versus right. as the DH. So if you've got OPS here, bat versus right, uh, I mean, whatever, right? You could get Alfonso in there.
Yeah.
Good one was right. Anyway,
This
whatever
is
you
good
get,
because,
whenever you get it the
yeah,
way you want it, then just go to manager and hit export, and it'll just print out an actual manager file, and then you can just send me that actual little file or post it here. Then I'll upload it. But it's the easiest way to get your stuff to stick. And don't forget, you
just,
can also go in here under manager preference and then fine tune any of the
so if you press this
defense or
export, Steve, just to show, just do what you just did before, export manager,
yeah,
put it in your
just go
download so he knows. Yeah.
export manager, and then you can just figure out where you want to put it. But it's probably easiest if you just select export it to your downloads folder, and then you can go on your
Yeah, that's what I
PC
did.
and
It's
find
so
it.
easy. Sometimes I watch your Beatles rooting around for your stuff. I'm laughing.
Oh yeah, it's well. Sometimes I'm a
Guys, got
creature
so
of
many
habit. That I'll
folders.
go in the same way I've always done it, right? Because I'll
Yeah.
guarantee you, this seemed to me to be the one that the computer came up with. I know he's going to have something different.
That number beside the lineup, that's their running rating, right? On the lineup. Is it the running rating, the number on the number beside them? Or the range?
Right here,
No, lineup. If you go to lineup, where you were before, the lineup of the actual players versus right versus lefties. That's the depth chart. So go to lineup, just above depth. That's it. So you know the number beside, yeah. Is that the running rating?
Wayner says he's
It
a
is.
7.
It is.
It is not.
Is it not?
No,
It's the running rating, right?
I would say it's got to be. Oh no, here's exactly what it is. It's their uh, fielding range rating, because if you look at Wayner here,
Right.
he's a
Yeah,
7
that
in
makes
right.
sense.
Gilkey is a 9 in left.
That
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
just showing you, and it's going to tell you. See where it says range 6.0? It's giving you, so you could get an idea of whether you've got a weak or a great defensive lineup out there. It's telling you what your
Yeah.
average range is. Oh yeah, average range weighted by position. And then this is your average runs created per 27 outs versus left or right. Huh. I've never even paid attention to that.
This is what I love learning about the game with sucker
Oh,
times,
it's
to keep
always
saying.
fun, isn't it? Ah, try this, he says. Check this out. So we're going to go to my downloads. Oh boy.
So
Copy. Oh, we'll go to this. Baseball seasons. Howie Shanks League 3. We're going to drop this one, and I'll delete that one. I always want it to refresh. A lot of times I'll just back out of the game and then come back in. Deerfield
that
Beach.
is awesome picture as
Import.
well. What's that one?
Oh, I couldn't tell. It zipped by so fast. I guess they just take
It's
anything in your
fun.
ballpark file,
Yeah, they
they'll
do. They
just
do.
randomly throw.
It looks good though.
So let me import managers. Who have we got? Oh, we've got this one. Well, let's see what we have. Load lineup one versus right. And there's Mike Lavaliere at rotation.
What are you looking
Still
for,
see
Steve?
the same rotation.
Actually,
That
that's just asking a
was
few
not
questions to
it.
walk him through it again.
Oh yeah. So we'll walk you through it here. Make sure you get if you set once you set your lineup, you're gonna wanna whatever lineup you get. Like, let's say we're going to have the computer recommend versus right, and that's what they're recommending, right? Let's say you made personal changes. Like, I'll do one for you. Here's Alfonso at DH, right? Now you want to save this lineup. You just go to save lineup, make that number one versus right, save it, done. Now see what the computer gives you versus left, and then you can make any changes. Let me take a look at what I would do here.
That's
Oh,
now saved versus right.
yeah.
Yeah,
OPS versus left. Is Wayner
that's
in
what the
there?
computer suggested. Yeah.
Eh, Alfonso, he's in there at third base on this one. Honus Wagner's in there. I don't know. Cano, Arky Vaughn, Bill, maybe it's Bill Robinson, right? Since it's at a lefty, you put Bill Robinson is. Then I'm like, okay, now I've got it. Maybe you make all your changes and you go, I want to save this one versus left. Boom. So now you can load one. There's left versus right. You can also go over here and get your depth chart, computer generate it, make any changes. Rotation, you come over to rotations. You might want to clear,
That's
like,
what I do first. I do my depth chart first because it does take into account at some level. Do my pitching rotation.
but
Do my
you might
bullpen.
generate that. Look, see, it generated it, and it's got Morris up here at the top, Cooper,
Yeah.
Seaver. But you might come over here and put Seaver at the top, Adams second, right? Maybe you got Kuzman down here. Maybe you've got DeGrom, whatever you do, however you get all the spot starters and all that stuff set up, then when you're ready for it, you're good. Nothing to really save there. It is what it is, right? And same thing with bullpen relief. But then when you're done and all this, you just go to manager, export. But you got to make sure those stuck.
Yeah, my advice is just take it one at a time. I clear everything and start from scratch.
Yeah, so here's one versus left. See, Bill Robinson stuck for me. And then if I go versus right, there it's stuck again. The other thing you could do is you could make a different variation. And you could make a number two versus right, which is a little different. And then under your managers, if you wanted to rotate, you go here under manager preferences, and you tell it that. Like, it'll say your next one is one versus left. And this in parentheses just means there's 9 people in the lineup. But you could always say advance to the next one. So you could have 1 and 2, 3's a little bit different, maybe 5, a different second baseman comes in, and then you could
Variation.
choose, you could choose to, hey, every fourth game I'm going to switch out the second baseman, and then it'll just go game by game and rotate 1, 2, 3, or whatever.
Could you technically look at the schedule? To the right of what you got. It says lineup versus opposing pitchers, whilst not
Yeah,
using daily lineup.
yeah,
So on this screen, I can see Long Island. You could set
yep,
your rotation. So, for example, if I was playing, I don't know, who's the best team, Kentucky, I could actually pick a lineup just to face Kentucky.
exactly. And what you do is, so if we were doing this more like planning game by game and week by week, you could come up in here and say, hey, I want to go with number 5. Number 5 versus a lefty is going to be every time I face Wilbur Wood, I want this lineup in there, because maybe you do the
You see,
research
that's what I want.
and you use that batter
You could
pitcher
do that.
matchup, right? Remember how you can use that to see how your team would do against Wood, and then you
Yeah.
can come in here and say, I want to use this number lineup when I'm going against Wood.
Like against Clue, say Clue's Kentucky had a weakness against lefties. I could exploit that by specifically
What's
using a
Clue's team?
specific lineup.
Kentucky, right? Let's go to.
Kentucky.
You don't play him till a little bit later. Let's right here. So say Noodles Han. Let's say you could come right down here for that game when they face him. Of course, if you get too far out, he could always change that up on you, right?
Well, yeah, he probably would. Yeah,
Um,
especially if I've announced it publicly.
but I still think that. Oh no, it's not date specific. It's when you face this pitcher. Always use that one.
You see, I like that.
Yeah, and then we go to reports, batter pitcher analysis, and if I'm, let's
Yeah.
say
Oh,
I'm
that's deep. That's very deep, though.
And let's say if I'm Manchester, and I'm going at, because you got to look at it both ways. Whose park are you in? I'm going to go at Kentucky, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to say, okay, for you, you would
RGL
want to
looks
go
from
against
display.
Han, the lefty, right? So
Yeah.
now you can start seeing here who your better hitters are against that.
I think RGL wants a quick chat.
Oh,
Can you call him on this?
here comes RJL.
Yeah.
Got to add somebody here. Oh, yeah.
That's right. Click his name. You should be able to call him in.
Can you add him?
Me? Yeah. Probably. I don't know. I'll try. Maybe because I'm not hosting. Let's just sort of
Because you
RGL.
can add him.
RGL. I may not have a direct line to RGL. Let's have a look. He's not on my. He's on the server, but he's not on my list yet. So let's have a look at them. Agree. Yep. Find him. Call. Invite to server. Baseball geeks one. Secret box to this.
Do, do, do. Let me disconnect this way and maybe I'll start a brand new. RJL, I just sent you a friend request. If you can accept that, I think that'll let me get you in on Discord. Just send it to you. I think that's what's keeping me from pulling both of you in. We'll see. I'm sitting here in my alone land right here, but trying to figure out how I have an option to get MV and Robert back over here. I will tell you, Dwayne, that what you need to do is if you get Action 2023, if you get see if we've got one thing I can tell you is if you've got your photos set to pull my rules up here and show you to use the under info use the subfolder. Make sure that when you go over, I always go to my DK Sports baseball season or player photos, and then you got to look for all your individual seasons. Make sure you're looking at the folder. So for me, this Shanks 3, um, make sure that I'll go and extract them somewhere and then copy them and paste them right here. So what I've done is I've taken all my ML, like I've got, this is my main MLB greats. And then when I run a sub league, I'll just make sure that I go over to Howie Shanks. And when I get them updated, I'll just drop them in here. And you can see this is a good visual for anyone here that has a name as a placeholder. They are not photoed yet. So lets me know how many I still have to do every time we see one of these. Oh, and then when you want to use them in the game, there's a couple ways you can do it. You go over here to tools and you always say first underscore last is the format I always get mine in and I use. Just click on that and hit default names right here. And then they'll stick if they're named the right way. But you can always check by going into the roster for any team. So if I'm using Dwayne's team, go into Hagerstown, and then I could always go up to roster tools, get player photos, nicknames, and uniforms, and then I can search right there, for example, and go player by player. And if some didn't stick, sometimes maybe it didn't have the name right, or like where I do here, I've got a couple players that might have different options. So if we go to Eddie Plank, you can see I got 1, 2, 3, and 4 option I can use for a photo. So you can definitely run across the league-wide area to the format you're using, but then I like to go in team by team and make sure everything's stuck. So you're going to go under tools. Once you know they're in the right folder, right? Go to tools and go up here at the top right, hit player photo names, and then pick whatever the format is that those photos are in. Most of the time they're first underscore last. So click that and then hit default photo names right here, and that'll apply it to all the players in the league. And then I just go team by team and go to this roster tool, player photo, nickname, uniform, because it's a one-stop shop where you could add a uniform name or a nickname, and it's an easy place to do that editing right here. And then you can see if any of the photos are sticking or if you're missing or maybe it's misspelled or anything like that.
In?
You are in, Robert.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
There you are.
Hey, hey, hey.
I am in. How about that?
You are in. Oh, and I pinged Arnold too by mistake. Hey, Arnold's happy. He can join us if he wants. Did not mean to ring him in. But what do you need, Robert? We need some help getting these to
Yeah, I mean,
stick.
I know how to operate action. I've been playing with this game for many years, but not doing. And I know I'm following your instructions, but for some reason, as I said, it's just your whatever the file you're getting from me is not is not what I'm saving. It doesn't have my lineups and and I do have management changes. So, like, I mean, I just sent a new one to you. All right, but this
Okay.
time under RJL Network, so maybe a little easier for you to find instead of doing the Shanks thing. So try that and see. I just sent a new one to you.
Okay.
Should say RGLnetwork.man. See if you find that. Maybe if I rename it, maybe that make a difference. I don't know.
Okay. And you sent that to me.
I just sent it to you about maybe a couple minutes ago. Should be in the file. Should I try again? I renamed it this time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to see where's that 258.
I
Aha.
know for a fact.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. So here it is. Let me try something here.
I'm trying to put my own photos in there, and of course, I got all the photos for everything. I have every single season for Action PC Baseball, but I'm surprised it doesn't bring up the photos folder when I activate the Shanks League.
Steve, you want to drop out for a minute?
That's weird.
Fine.
I had no problem with photos for any other season I do. And and even though I use my Action PC game to get the rosters for my inside pitch, I still create the photos for that year. So it's
Hmm.
almost like because I use that to simulate through the season. Not that I use anything from it except the current roster for that day. Like
Okay.
tonight, I've got the Tigers and the Mariners tonight for August 8th, 2016. So at the moment, my 2016 season on Action is simulated to that date. So so all I do is just bring up the rosters for each of those teams, and I get my inside pitch cards, set for the game.
Okay.
And of
Yep.
course, that helps me get. That means, and usually, and of course, if a player is not available, I know he wasn't on the team for that game,
Ah.
and of course, it's where I get my trades from. So,
This one's
you
stuck,
know,
Robert, because I can tell this is different than what was there. You got Seaver, Morris, Cohn, Adams, Lever.
that is correct. That's right. Check my management thing.
And let's see. Lineup versus left. Oh, Willie Stargell. Yep, this is unique. I know you've done something.
That's me. And
And
check the other lineup.
whoops.
Lineup versus left. And I got
And
Stargell at the
then
bottom. Lineup versus
yeah,
right.
Wayner DH. Yep, we got him.
Yep,
Yes,
that,
yes,
that
yes.
is my lineup. Yes, that's my lineup.
And I would say, yeah, manager preferences.
Should be a change in management.
You may have done something up here, right? Offense,
Yeah,
defense,
let's see.
maybe.
That's it. Now you have the correct file.
Awesome. Um,
I had to make some changes because this team is really not that very fast, and I don't want this manager stealing bases all over the place.
do
This team is not designed for that.
we've got bullpen set up. You don't have any depth set up position wise.
Yeah, because I'll just let the computer
Okay,
decide on that.
perfect. I'm good with that. So yeah, we got you.
Computer
You're good to
decide on
go.
that because the thing about it, what really hurts me in this league is I did not draft a center fielder, and I really wish I had a do-over on that, but unfortunately I did not pay attention. That's my fault. But either way, even though Clemente's in center, but that's gonna hurt me, I think, in some games. His range out there in center is
Yeah.
not as great as range in right, but that was my fault. I didn't pay attention. But next time we do, I will pay more attention. But yeah, so yeah, but now you have the correct file. I didn't need to, like I said, it's still a test. I can send you another one with no problem. But I just, I was more concerned about the rotation and the main
Hmm.
lineup, okay, than I was considering. I mean that one thing where you could go ahead and you could choose a lineup against every single pitcher
Oh
you're
yeah,
gonna
it's
face.
too.
But
Yeah, it's
that's a little bit crazy.
and then
All
you
right,
don't know if you're doing any help or you're shooting yourself in the foot. There's no
right. You
there's
don't know
no
if you're
way to
hurting or
know.
helping. Right. So, but anyway, my COVID home test came back negative this
That's
morning.
awesome.
So now, and my work, of course, called me. I said, "Well, let me go tomorrow. Let me get 24 hours, okay, of just letting that sit, and then tomorrow morning I'll go to my clinic, which is right near here, and I'll pay to have an official test done. And if that's negative, then I can return to. I told them I'll return to work Wednesday. I did find out I wasn't the only one that got COVID at work last week. I wasn't the only one because of the intense heat
Going
down here.
around.
Well, because the intense heat that you see down here in Florida, in SoFla, okay, we've had heat index of over 120 degrees. I have never seen it that hot, at least not that I can remember. That's 120 degrees heat index. All right. Um, when you work inside and from a 75-degree room temperature and you go outside to go pick up something or go get parts and then walk back inside after sweating, of course my immune system's gonna break down a little bit and COVID's gonna come back. Once you get COVID, remember, COVID is not curable. It's you have it, you got it. So the only thing you can do is just fight the symptoms. And it took so it's the new flu, so to
Yep.
speak, although it's not that. But um, that's what probably reactivated it. And because I had it last year in February, but I was out for 3 weeks. So if I can get back to work on Wednesday, I'll consider that a big victory. Where all I missed was 5 days instead of 5 paydays instead of 13 paydays. So so I'm
Yeah.
trying to we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I mean, my body's still feeling a little icky, but I think it's just due to the weakness of COVID. So other than that, though, uh,
You're going to be back into
I'm all right.
full-blown
I'm all right.
baseball shape.
It looks like I'll make it through again.
That's good.
But
Well, I'll tell you
yeah,
what I
it's
put back for you is I just dropped back in that same thread that you put your most recent. If anybody wants to go under McGreevy, Howie Shanks Bingo, there's a brand new file, and that has Robert's changes on it. So now, Robert, start playing around and doing any testing or whatever. So if you guys want to drop these in, I'll start adding those in as we go and see if it makes a difference. I'm going to have to run here in about 2 minutes, but
all right.
I appreciate everybody tuning in because it's kind of fun. I know MV and I saw the back and forth with World's Worst Gamer and everybody doing a lot of stuff on this. I thought, man, uh, let me work on some photos today, right? And in the next few days, by the end of this week, I'll have all the photos done, maybe in the next 2 days, and ready to roll. And then we can figure.
Even
Um,
even if I do photos on my end, your photos will overwrite what I do.
only if you download them. So in
Okay.
other words, it I'm going to make them available with a link that I have to drop in there. If anybody wants to grab the logos that I'm using that are custom, they can download them, and you can drop those in, and the game should recognize them. The game will recognize your photos unless you downloaded mine, and that would replace them with mine if you drop mine in there
Okay.
into
That'd be fine.
your thing. Yeah, but you don't have to download them if you want. I just want to make sure if I'm broadcasting right that I've got something visually pleasing for everybody to look at.
When's going to be the final date that you're going to want everything finalized?
I would say if we could get that stuff by the end of this week, for sure.
All right. It's only Monday, so
Yeah, and I should have the that done. We got the schedule built. There's really nothing left, and then we can. I know this week MV may go on and host some more exhibition games, but then we could kick it off. Friday, Saturday, some way.
you're going to broadcast some of these, right?
My idea was to kick off the very first game. So if we look at the schedule, the very first
That's
game.
Long Island and Mudville.
Yeah, right here. So is to kind of maybe highlight that one, kick off the first one, and then hand it off. Maybe I would sim a week or two or something in here, then hand it off to whoever wants to go next, and then they could pick it up and do a couple games and maybe highlight it. It'd be nice if we rotate it so every team got a chance to make it on the tube.
Okay. I agree. I think all 14 should be at least all 14 should get in there somehow. So yes,
You
I
bet.
agree.
Interesting teams all the way in now. And now I got to spend some time after I get done with pictures trying to figure out my roster because I'm a middle of the pack at best team, and I got to figure out is there anything I can do better with the rotation that's in there and some of the platoon situations and all that. So I'm weak in
That'd
left
be cool.
field, and it's going to hurt me, I think.
I like I said, I didn't draft a center fielder. I thought the thing was I drafted Mike Easler, and he was I thought was going to be my center fielder. And then when I realized, I looked, I said, "Oh damn, he never played the position." I said,
Yep.
Really." So
Yeah, if we look
that's
at
my
your team right here, yeah, that is kind of your weaker. So what you do is it's almost like you keep Clemente in the lineup, right? He can at
yeah. He's
least
going to
play
play
center,
center.
but and you've got Parker that you can put over in right field. So, but yeah, it
Oh
would be
yeah, no,
nice.
right field. I am extremely strong. I could put Clemente in right one day and have Bill Robinson play center, but that would his range of a one is really not that great. But you got Paul Wainer, I got Dave Parker, I
Oh,
got
yeah,
Bernard Gilkey at left.
yeah, Gilkey's good and left.
Gilkey is excellent in left, so I'm not. The problem is going to be center field for this team. But anyway, that's my fault. I just completely didn't see it.
Yeah, it happens to us every time we do this.
It does.
All the strategy that comes into this. You know what I would say, and I did it the second round we had of the draft is, and I didn't do this the other times that we were starting this idea is when drafting, I was writing my stuff down on a piece of paper, and what I
That's what
should
I
have
was
done,
doing.
what I should
That's
have
what I.
done is, maybe taking a look at Baseball Reference at the positions, right? Defensively, go look at the chart and see what positions they played that year.
Yep. That's what I was doing. I
I'm
was writing
focused
everything
on
down.
batting
Right.
and
I
not
agree.
researching the fielding and stuff like that. That's kind of a pro tip for everybody. Good. Well, I'm gonna hit. I actually got to get back to work. I still got some
Get back to work.
work hours here. But thanks for joining, Robert. MV said I'll be right back, and when he comes back, he's gonna be like, "Where the heck did everybody go?" But appreciate everybody
Okay.
that showed up. Dwayne was here, and Big Clue and Midlife showed up here. Arnold, great seeing Arnold Hunter on here, and Bernard. And I know everybody's looking at their teams here, excited to see how they do. And now, once you start putting the fingerprints on them, it's going to be fun.
Yep. I agree.
And I'll see everybody down the road. So have a great Monday, everyone.
Take care, brother. See you later.
Bye.